all right? To make to see if there's probable cause, all right? If there's no probable cause for that, they will throw it out, and then you're free to go. Then you can burn yourself out, and then they give you an escort when you come back. Am I clear? But don't say anything to incriminate yourself, all right? Yes, sir. No, sir. You got a lawyer.
All right, Deputy, are you ready?
Yes, sir, yeah.
A couple of things, just one thing, I guess, before we get started. Are there any inmates that need interpretation this morning? I didn't see an email regarding that.
No, sir. Lopez, huh? Lopez. Yeah, Lopez.
I'm sorry.
Listen, there's Lopez.
And so I sent an email, you all may not have caught it, but Lopez is actually going to need to be continued anyhow. Ms. Day, if you just want to advise him, we're going to try to get him back up tomorrow because there needed to be a change made on his warrant, and then we can actually excuse you, Ms. Day. So if we can bring Mr. Lopez up to the front, and then he can go back whenever you all are ready.
Yes, sir.
Lopez,
Oh, he's already gone. Okay, he's already gone, Judge.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, enjoy the rest of your day, Ms. Daya.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
You too.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, for the rest of you all, it's 11 o'clock here this morning. It's November 1st of 2024. My name is Judge Marcus Thorpe, and this is your first appearance here this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, you are here because, of course, you have been arrested, and it is my job here to advise you of several things. I'm going to speak to you this morning, ladies and gentlemen, about what you've been charged with. I'm going to also advise you of your bond. And I'm also going to discuss with you whether or not you will have the ability to have a lawyer appointed for you based on some information that you provided to me. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's important that if you can't hear me, to please let me know because I'm going to go through some important things both during as well as before we start your preliminary hearing this morning. Most importantly, I'm not here to take a plea or to try your case or have any legal discussions with you about the specific facts of your case. As the deputy noted earlier, this is being recorded. So you not only are going to have taped anything you say, but there are also obviously people around you, deputies and other inmates, that you make witnesses if you say something that can harm your case. Now, as I said, we're going to go through, not only do you have the right to remain silent, but you have several other rights I want to remind you all of. You have the right to a presumption of innocence, the right to an indictment by a grand jury for felonies or by accusation for misdemeanors. You have the right to a speedy and public trial by jury. You have the right to compel the attendance of witnesses to testify on your own behalf. You have the right to see, hear, and question witnesses who are called to testify against you. You have the right to testify on your own behalf or offer evidence in your own defense. And as I said, you have the right to an attorney to represent you. And if you cannot afford one, I'll consider appointing one to you this morning free of charge. Now, for those of you all who are not citizens, you may also want to consider that some of these charges may adversely affect your citizenship. And if you think that it might, you might want to consult an immigration attorney. Now, in addition to talking to each of you all about bond, I'm also going to talk to you about how to make bond and then special conditions that will go along with your bond. Bond is the amount of money that, of course, you will have to pay that will allow you to be released while your case is still pending. There are three ways to make bond: by cash, commercial bonding company, or by property. So the first, as I said, is by cash. By posting a bond through cash, you are saying that you would like to pay the full amount plus any fees to the sheriff. The sheriff then holds that bond money until such time as your case is closed. So the example I use is if you are charged with battery family violence, I tell you this morning your bond is $6,000, you would pay $6,000 or someone you know to the sheriff's office plus any fees, and they'll hold it until your case is closed and then return it to you. If you don't have it the full amount, you can use a bonding company. With a bonding company, you would pay anywhere from 12 to 15% of the bond. You give that to the bonding company. That is not refundable. However, the remainder you are not responsible for. So in my example, again, if I tell you that your bond is $6,000, you'd only be responsible for $750. The last way to make bond is by property. So if you or someone you know owns 3 times the amount of your bond in equity in their home, they too may bond you out. They would need to bring their deed to their home down to the sheriff's office, where the sheriff again would hold it until such time as your case is concluded. Now, as I said, in addition to bond, there are some of you all will have special conditions telling you not to have contact with certain people or not to return to certain places while your case is pending. If I tell you you are to have no contact with someone, that means you must stay away from that person. You can't call, text, email, or write them. You can't even do something as simple or as nice as write a song. If I tell you not to return somewhere today, that means you can't go back there for any reason. If the place I tell you not to return to is a place you were living at before this happened, please understand the only way you can return is if you are bonded out, you contact the sheriff within 10 days of your release, and they must escort you, meaning they must go with you. Because otherwise, if you do violate my bond conditions in that you have contact with the person you're not supposed to, or you return to a location not with the sheriff, then you will be subject to additional felony charges of either aggravated stalking or influencing a witness, up to 20 years in prison and $20,000 in fines. Now, in addition to those things, ladies and gentlemen, just a few other things that we want to discuss here this morning. And I need you to remember, if you're going to make bond, that either any alleged victim cannot be the one to bond you out. If there's anyone here is on active probation, I do not have the authority this morning to give you bond. And there are some of you that will be charged with other offenses for which I will not give bond for this morning. Lastly, I want to talk to you all about what is called a preliminary hearing. A preliminary hearing is a hearing where you are present, the judge is present, and your lawyer is present to review the facts and the evidence against you. It is not your trial, but it's a preliminary hearing where they can determine if there is enough evidence for the case to proceed against you, or they can dismiss it. Now, it doesn't mean the case won't come back, just means it's being dismissed for the time being.
Sir, you have to wait in the middle of court.
Andrew will.
Come on, okay, go sit down. Come on.
Okay?
We said
If you are charged with a misdemeanor, ma'am, you're gonna have to be quiet until we're finished, ma'am. If you are charged with a felony, ladies and gentlemen, you automatically get that preliminary hearing I just spoke of, unless and until you are bonded out. If you are charged with a misdemeanor, and I'm gonna ask you if you want that preliminary hearing. If you want me to set that preliminary hearing for you where you're present, the officer and the judge to go over your case, I'll give you the date this morning. If you don't want that hearing, all you have to do is tell me, Judge, I don't want the hearing, or I want to waive that hearing. In so doing, that means you skip the hearing and your case will move a little quicker and go straight to the prosecutor. Now, with that, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have this morning for my announcements. So if I could have everyone please raise your right hand. Do you all swear or affirm that the information you'll provide this morning during your first appearance and that you've provided to this point via the appointed counsel document is the truth? So help you God. And if it is, say I do. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you can put down your hands. All right, Deputy, we can go ahead and we'll get the female jots. Let me log back in here.
Miss Essence.
All right. Yeah.
All right, is she here, Miss Essence?
Yeah, she's here, Judge.
Okay, because I wasn't sure if you all got my message earlier. All right. And so are you Miss, is it Artipe?
Yeah.
Okay, so Ms. Artipe, just so you know, I was actually going to continue your case because there was some concern or some things that needed to be done on your file, but looks like you were able to get it done before the start of court this morning. So I'm going to go ahead. We're going to hear you this morning on your case. Just give me 1 second here to bring it up.
Okay.
Believe we have what we need here this morning. All right, so Ms. Artipe, you're charged with 1 count of battery, 1 count of cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. The battery, ma'am, is family violence. Your bond amount in that case is going to be $3,500. And in the cruelty to children, your bond amount is also going to be $3,500 as well. Do you understand that, ma'am?
Yes, I do.
Now, those are both misdemeanors. Let me tell you that. Which means you have a right to that preliminary hearing that I mentioned earlier, ma'am, or you can waive your right to that preliminary hearing. Which would you like to do, ma'am? Have the hearing or waive the hearing? Say that again, ma'am?
I wanna have it.
Okay. Misdemeanor. And so, ma'am, that preliminary hearing date, ma'am, is going to be. Let me give you that information.
And you said both of my bonds are 3,000 apiece, correct?
3,500.
3,500 apiece? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. So your preliminary hearing, ma'am, is going to be December 3rd. It's going to be at 8:30 a.m. and that's going to be via Zoom. Again, that's going to be December 3rd. It's going to be at 8:30 a.m. and that's going to be via Zoom. Do you understand that, ma'am?
Yes, I do.
Now, I see here it says that you are not working. Is that correct?
Yes, I'm not.
Okay, so I am going to go ahead. I'm going to give you a court-appointed attorney this morning, free
Okay.
of charge, that will assist you on your case, okay?
Okay.
Do you have any questions of me, ma'am?
No, I don't.
All right, just give me 1 second.
No, she doesn't.
Excuse me 1 second, ma'am. I'm just changing all your things here since we were able to get you in here. 24. All right, ma'am. So again, that next court date, if you don't make your bond, is going to be at the 3rd of this month. It's going to be at 8:30 a.m. That's going to be via Zoom. I have advised you that your bond amount is $3,500 here this morning. I am going to give you a court-appointed attorney as well, so you will have that to assist you on your case, okay?
Okay, so I will be good to bond out today, correct?
Well, if yes, if either you or someone you know can bring down that money, yes, ma'am, you will be able to bond out today, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, ma'am, good luck to you.
Next. What, schedule warnings?
All right, so I'm showing up on Jots. It should be next, is it Banky or Benike?
Finicky, April.
Benike, okay, excuse me, ma'am. So. All right, so Ms. Benike here, you are charged with 1 count of simple assault family violence, ma'am. That is a misdemeanor. Now, because that is a misdemeanor, ma'am, you have the right to a preliminary hearing, or you can waive your right to that preliminary hearing, ma'am. Which would you like to do? Would you like to have your hearing or waive that hearing?
Wave.
All right, so I am going to show that you are waiving your hearing. And so that means that once we are done here this morning, ma'am, the deputies will have a piece of paper you're right there for you to sign, okay? Do you understand, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
All right, now you do have special conditions, ma'am. Those are to stay away from the alleged victim, Mr. Benjamin Beneke, and to also stay away from the address of 4001 Boulder Crest as well. Do you understand that?
Yes.
And so, as I mentioned earlier, if that's somewhere that you were living prior to this incident or alleged incident, you understand that you will need to, if you bond out, have the sheriff's office come down, make an appointment within 10 days, and they will go down there with you to get any items that may belong to you. Do you understand that, Ms. Beneke?
Yes.
All right, ma'am, and I have gone ahead and appointed you a court-appointed lawyer this morning, so you will have a lawyer free of charge to assist you on your case, okay? All right, ma'am, good luck to you.
Do I have a bond?
My apologies, ma'am. I thought I told you it's $7,500.
7,500.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Next up should be, I believe it's Nalani Kemp.
Yes.
Come on this way.
Should be Kemp, and then I have Kemp.
You doing everybody from Jots first, y'all?
Excuse me, yes, my apologies, it should be Galbraith, then Kemp. Galbraith and then Kemp. Yes, sir, I'm doing Jots first. Galbraith and then Kemp, and then we've got, I believe, one female left off Jots. Are you Ms. Galbraith?
Yes, I am.
Ms. Galbraith, you are charged with 1 count of simple assault, ma'am. That is a misdemeanor. Now, because it is a misdemeanor, ma'am, you have the right to the preliminary hearing, or you can waive that right to a preliminary hearing, ma'am. Which would you like to do? Would you like to have that hearing or waive it?
Waive it.
All right, ma'am, so I am gonna show here this morning that you are waiving your right to a preliminary hearing. Are you working right now?
Yes, I do.
And how much do you make per month?
About 2,000.
Okay, so I am gonna appoint you a court-appointed lawyer free of charge, ma'am, so you will have a lawyer also assist you on your case, okay?
Sure.
Now, because you waived your hearing, ma'am, the deputies are gonna have a piece of paper for you to sign after we're done here this morning. But let me go ahead and give you your bond amount. Your bond amount is $2,500.
You said
You do have a
2,500.
That's 2,500. Okay,
Yes.
and you do have a special condition, ma'am, and that is to stay away from Deanna Lindy, Linde, okay?
I have a question, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
Deanna Lindy is the girlfriend of my ex-husband, and she tags along with my husband when we do the exchange of my child. So how is she to stay away from me and I'm to stay away from her? Because she comes with him.
So right now, let me say this, ma'am, I don't think she's on the list of people who were arrested that night, and so, you know, the best that I can tell you, unless you speak to your attorney, and unless that is modified, ma'am, you'll need to abide by my bond condition this morning, so she doesn't need to be present when you all are making those exchanges, so I would advise
You're breaking up.
I'm sorry? I said she
You were
doesn't.
breaking up. I'm sorry.
Does not need to be present when you all are making those exchanges,
Mhm.
okay? Did you hear
So
that?
if she is pregnant, it's breaking up.
I said if she is
it's-
present. Hold on, ma'am, listen to me. If she is present when you are making those exchanges, I wouldn't stay for it because you can be the one that gets arrested.
So, but okay, so if.
Ma'am, until that is, listen to me, until that is modified by your attorney, you need to go the other way. The
So
best
how
that I can tell, you will not be able to, ma'am. You will not, unless you want to risk being arrested. You speak to your attorney, explain it to him, and see if he can do what he is supposed to as your attorney. But until such time as that is modified, you need to do one of two things. You need to speak to your ex-husband and explain to him that she cannot be present when those exchanges happen, or you need to not do it. You can't do it until it's modified. Otherwise, you run the risk of being arrested. Do you understand, ma'am?
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
thank you.
Yes, ma'am. All right, next up, female should be Kemp, Nalani Kemp, and then that should be the last one on John. Are you Miss Kemp?
Yes.
All right, so Ms. Kemp, I'm looking here at the information that I have for you this morning. Looks like you have been charged with 1 count of misdemeanor, simple battery, family violence. Do you understand that, ma'am? Now, that is a misdemeanor, which means you have a right to a preliminary hearing that I spoke of earlier before we started, ma'am, or you can waive that right to that hearing. Which would you like to do, ma'am? Would you like to have your hearing or waive your hearing? All right, so I understand you to be saying that you would like to have it. I am gonna go ahead, and if you don't make your bond, ma'am, let you know that your next court date is going to be December 3rd, and that's gonna be at 8:30 a.m., and that's gonna be via Zoom. Again, that's December 3rd, that's 8:30 a.m., and that's via Zoom. Do you understand that, ma'am?
Yes.
Now, you do have special conditions. I'm gonna give you those as well as your bond. Your bond amount is $2,500, and your special conditions include for you to stay away from a gentleman by the name of Trick Harrison. Do you understand that?
Yeah, here. Find your address right here.
You hear that, Ms. Camp?
Yes.
Okay, do you have any questions of me about anything, ma'am? Ms. Camp, I can't hear you.
No.
All right, ma'am. So again, December 3rd will be your next court date. Your bond is $2,500. You're to stay away from Mr. Harrison, which means again, no contact whatsoever. Good luck to you, ma'am.
All right, right over here, Ms. Kemp.
Ms. Kemp.
No, the judge has that. We don't.
All right, and so off jots, we've already handled Miss Artipe. So it should just be, I believe, Miss Alexis Henry is what I'm showing that's left of the females.
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
Okay.
You got two.
Are you Miss Henry?
Yes.
Ms. Henry, you are charged with one count of theft by shoplifting, ma'am, as a misdemeanor here. Because it is a misdemeanor, Ms. Henry, you have the right to a preliminary hearing, or you can waive that hearing that I spoke of earlier, ma'am. Which would you like to do? Would you like to have your hearing or waive it?
I'm sorry, you broke up.
I said, I was speaking of the preliminary hearing that I mentioned earlier. Would you like to have your hearing or waive your hearing?
Waive it.
All right, so I am going to show you're waiving your right. And so once we are done here this morning, the deputies are going to have a piece of paper for you to sign, okay?
Yes, sir.
Now, as far as whether to appoint you an attorney or not, would you like to have an attorney? Excuse me, how much are you making first? Let me ask you that.
I decline to answer.
I'm sorry?
Decline to answer.
You don't have that right, ma'am. How much are you making right now?
Well, do I have the right to reject an appointed counsel?
You do not, ma'am.
So will I get a charge if I
So,
decide?
so Ms. Henry, here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna appoint you a court-appointed counsel. If you choose at a later time to either represent yourself or that you are able to forge your own attorney, you can do that at that time. But as of today, you have an attorney to assist you free of charge. Ma'am, your bond amount is $5,000. You do have special conditions and they are to stay away from 629 Forest Parkway. Do you understand that, ma'am?
Understood.
Good luck to you, Ms. Henry. All right, deputies, do we have any other females in?
Yes, Your Honor.
You got one more?
We got two more.
Two more? Come on,
And
Ms.
what are those names?
This Pam.
Say that one. What's your last name, ma'am?
Last name Pam.
Sam? Okay,
And White is the last person. Ms. White.
okay. White and Sam.
I mean PHAM.
Yes, ma'am, I got it. Give me 1 second. All right, so Ms. Sam, you are charged with one count of battery as a misdemeanor and one count of exploitation of an elderly person. That is a felony, ma'am. And so if you do not make your bond, your next court date is going to be December 4th at 8:30 a.m. online like this, okay?
Yes.
I am going to give you a court-appointed attorney here this morning as well, free of charge, okay?
Yes, please.
Yes, ma'am. And your bond amount for these charges is going to be $5,000 for the battery and $5,000 for the assault against your mother, okay?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes.
So your total bond is $10,000. Do you understand?
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. So again, your next court date is going to be December 4th at 8:30 a.m. That's all I have for you, ma'am. Good luck to you.
Yeah. Thank you, Judge.
Yes, ma'am. Are you Miss White?
Yes, sir.
All right, so Miss White, you are charged with one count of criminal trespass, ma'am. That is a misdemeanor, which means that you have the right to a preliminary hearing, or you can waive your right to your preliminary hearing. Which would you like to do, ma'am? Would you like to have your hearing or waive it? I'm sorry?
Have it.
All right, ma'am. So should you not make your bond, your next court date is going to be December 3rd at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Again, that's going to be December 3rd. That's going to be at 8:30 a.m. and that's going to be via Zoom. Now, as to your bond on the misdemeanor criminal trespass, your bond amount, ma'am, is $2,500. You do have special conditions as well, and they are to stay away from Danielle Penman, as well as to stay away from the address of 11973 Fuller Street. Do you understand that, ma'am?
Yes, that is my home though, and I think.
Okay, well, where you live, like I said earlier, ma'am, if that's where you're living,
Uh-huh.
until your bond is modified or your case is closed, that you will have to remain away from that address. So the only way you're allowed to go back is if the sheriff deputies assist you, they go with you, and then you can get any items there that belong to you, but you're not allowed to go back unless they are with you. Do you understand?
Even if she left the residence?
Ma'am, no, ma'am. You are not allowed back there unless your bond is modified or you're with a deputy. Do you understand?
Fine.
Okay, good luck to you, ma'am. All right, so back on Jot's deputies, I've got Bolger, Shaveria, Ignacio Shaveria, and Eddie Childs should be up.
Yes, sir.
Everybody.
Charles.
They don't. Everybody else just sit down. Now, I got a right to. It's gonna be right there.
The Bolger, Shaveria, and Childs. Are you Mr. Bolger?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Bolger, give me one moment here, sir.
Yeah.
All right, so Mr. Bolger, you are charged here, sir, by law enforcement with one count of following too closely and one count of driving under the influence, sir. Those are both misdemeanors, which means you have a right to a preliminary hearing, or you can waive that right to a preliminary hearing. Which would you like to do, sir? Would you like to have that hearing or waive it?
Waive it.
I'm sorry?
Waive.
All right, so I am going to show that you would like to waive your preliminary hearing. So the deputy, sir, will have a piece of paper here this morning that they're going to have you sign once you and I are done this morning, okay? Now, looking at the information that you provided, I am going to go ahead and appoint you a court-appointed lawyer. You will have a lawyer free of charge to assist you on your case. Now, as to your bond amount on the following too closely is $500. Your bond amount on the DUI is $3,500 for a total bond of $4,000. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes.
All right, sir. Well, unless you have any questions for me, sir, that's all I have for you this morning.
So I could just make. Thank you.
Say that again.
That's it.
All right. Did you have a question of me, sir?
No.
Okay. All right. Good luck to you. All right. Should be Mr. Chaveria and then Mr. Child.
Yes, sir.
All right, sir. Good morning.
Good morning.
You are charged with one count of criminal damage to property in the 3rd degree. That is a felony, sir. And what that means is if you do not make your bond, I'm going to give you your next court date. It's going to be December 4th. That's going to be at 8:30 a.m. And that's going to be via Zoom. Again, that's December 4th, 8:30 a.m. And that's going to be via Zoom. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
You going to 7, so how you getting
So now, as it relates to your bond, sir, the felony charge of criminal damage carries a bond amount of $5,000. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, in addition to that, sir, you do have special conditions, and those special conditions include that you are to stay away from this Mari Sepulveda. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. Give me one second here, sir. Some reason it's not letting me.
Step on the right side, take a seat.
Okay, there it is. All right, sir. So that's all I have for you this morning. Again, $5,000 bond. You do have that special condition. One last thing I need to let you know, sir. I've reviewed the information that you provided to us this morning. You do not qualify for a court-appointed attorney. So if you would like an attorney to assist you on your case, Mr. Ignacio, you will have to hire your own. Do you understand that?
Oh, I'm saying yes.
All right, sir. Well, that's all I have for you this morning, sir. Good luck to you.
Thank
Mhm. All right, after Mr. Childs, I have Mr. Dugan, Guerrero, and Dietrich Harrison. Dugan, Guerrero, and Harrison. All right, are you Mr. Childs?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Childs, you are charged with 1 count of aggravated assault, 1 count of aggravated battery, and 1 count of possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime. Those are all felonies, sir. Because they are felonies, your next court date, should you not make your bond, is going to be December 4th, 8:30 a.m., and that's going to be via Zoom. Again, that's December 4th, 8:30 a.m., and that's going to be via Zoom. Now, were you working before you were taken into custody, sir?
No, sir.
All right. So because you were not working, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to appoint you a court-appointed lawyer, so you'll have a lawyer free of charge, okay?
Yes, sir.
Now, as it relates to your bond, sir, I am going to no bond you. So you got no bond on the ag assault, no bond on the battery, no bond on the firearm. You do have special conditions, sir. So at a later time on your next court date after the prelim, you'll get a bond hearing date on December 6th. If at that time they modify your bond, you have a condition to stay away from Gabriela Esperanza and Eddie Childs. Do you understand that?
I am the child.
Excuse me, not Eddie Childs. I meant, my apologies. Hold on 1 second. I don't know why they did that. I didn't do. Give me 1 second, sir. Let me correct that. Yeah, excuse me, Alfonso Epps, Gabriela Esperanza, and Alfonso Epps. Do you understand that, sir?
Stay away from him? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. You are also to stay away from the address of 1582 Rock Cut Road. Okay, again, that's 1582 Rock Cut Road, okay?
Yes, sir.
Now, I understand that's where you were living before this happened, is that right?
Right.
Okay, now, as I said earlier, if you were living at the place that this was alleged to have happened before it happened, sir, please understand, if at some point you are given a bond and you need to go back to that address, that you must, upon your release, make an appointment with the sheriff's office, and they will accompany you there so that you can get any items that belong to you, okay?
Okay, what are you saying is that if I need to go back
Mm-hmm.
to get my belongings, I need to contact the sheriff's department?
Yes, sir. Within 10 days of your release, you need to contact them, and then they will go with you to escort you there. So that means you can't go alone. If you go alone, you're likely to get arrested and new charges be added against you, okay?
Okay, so in other words, you're saying I have no bond?
That's correct. But you will have 2 court dates. Preliminary hearing on December 4th, bond hearing on the 6th. So they can reconsider your bond at that time.
That's it?
All right. Thank you, sir.
Mhm.
All right. Should be Dugan, Guerrero, and Harrison. All right, are you Mr. Dugan?
Yes, sir.
So Mr. Dugan, there is some information that needs to be changed on your matter, sir. And so as of this morning, we're gonna go ahead and dismiss your case. But Mr. Dugan, I just need to advise you, sir, I know you're in custody on something else. Please understand that the deputy does intend to make the change that is necessary so that they can bring these charges back. So, you know, I only say that to say, expect that if you are not here tomorrow, that you may come up sometime during the week regarding these allegations, okay?
Okay.
All right, sir, good luck to you.
Mr. Duke?
Thank you.
Yeah, Duke. Mr. Duke, you gotta sign that shit.
All right, and then it should be, so his case is dismissed. He doesn't have to sign.
Okay. Roger that.
Yeah, are you Mr. Guerrero?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Guerrero, you are charged with 1 count of criminal trespass. Sir, that is a misdemeanor. Now, because it's a misdemeanor, sir, you have a right to a preliminary hearing, or you can waive your right to your preliminary hearing. Which would you like to do, sir? Have it or waive it?
I like to waive it, sir.
All right, sir. So I am showing that you are asking me to waive your preliminary hearing, right? And so once we are done here this morning, the deputies will have a piece of paper for you to sign there just to your right. Now, looking at your bond, sir, your bond amount is $2,500. You do have special conditions, and they are to stay away from Mr. Cameron Moore and from the address of 6751 Westfield Drive. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Again, that's 6751 Westfield Drive. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, sir. Do you have any questions about anything for me?
No, sir.
All right, sir. Good luck to you.
Thanks.
All right, after Harrison, then I've got Hurd, Hernandez, and Kelly. Hurd, Hernandez, and Kelly. All right, are you Mr. Hurd?
Just go down there and,
Oh, excuse me, Mr. Harrison, my apologize. Mr. Harrison, you are charged here with one count of simple battery family violence. It is a misdemeanor, sir. And so that means you have the right to that preliminary hearing I spoke of, or you can waive your preliminary hearing. Which would you like to do, have it or waive it?
Waive it.
All right, so I am showing here, sir, that you are asking that I waive your preliminary hearing. And so that means once you and I are done this morning, the deputies will have a piece of paper for you to sign. Now, as to your bond, sir, your bond is $2,500. You do have special conditions, and those conditions include that you have to stay away from a Memphis Harrison, and you also have to stay away from an address of 7735 Terra Boulevard. Again, that's 7735 Terra Boulevard, and you have to stay away from a Memphis Harrison. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you have any questions of me, sir? I'm sorry?
No.
All right, good luck to you, sir. All right, Mr. Hurd? Good morning. Mr. Hurd, you are charged with felony forgery in the third degree. Because that is a felony, sir, you do have your next court date, which will be a preliminary hearing if you don't make your bond. That next court date, sir, is going to be December 4th at 8:30 a.m., and that's going to be via Zoom. Again, that's December 4th. It's 8:30 a.m., and that's via Zoom. Are you currently working, Mr. Hurd?
Yeah, I'm supposed to be working right now.
And how much do you earn per month, sir?
I ain't do the math on it. It would probably be like, I have to do the math right quick. I get 21 an hour, but I work 6 hours a day, 5 days a week.
How much do you get paid per week? Do you know?
21 people. I work at UPS.
Okay. Do you have any kids?
Yes,
The one child?
yes.
So you said you get paid 20, so you're making about 8,000 a month?
21. Nah, I know way too much. I don't work for 6 hours a day.
Oh, 6 hours a day. Okay, so roughly, if you had to guess, how much per month, like per week, excuse me?
Like 2,000.
Okay, so 2,000 a week is 8,000 a month, no?
I think something like that.
Okay,
I do the math on it. But it's part-time, so it'd probably be like, I really say about somewhere now, 14, 15.
so let me do this. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna appoint you a court-appointed lawyer free of charge to help you on your case, okay? All right, and so since this is a felony, as I said, sir, your next court date's gonna be December 4th if you don't make your bond, and your bond amount, sir, is $5,000, okay? All right, do you have any questions of me, sir?
Nah, I'm cool. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Good luck to you. All right, should be Hernandez, Kelly, and Lopez. All right, are you Mr. Hernandez?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hernandez, you were charged with misdemeanor criminal trespass. Since that is a misdemeanor, sir, you do have a right to the preliminary hearing that I mentioned earlier, or you can waive your right. Which would you like to do, sir? Have it or waive it?
I'll waive it, sir.
All right, sir. So since I'm showing here that you are asking me to waive your preliminary hearing, that means the deputies will have a piece of paper for you to sign once we're done. Now, as it relates to your bond, sir, your bond amount is $2,500. You do have a special condition, and that's to stay away from Mr. Cameron Moore. And you are also to stay away from the address of 6751 Westerfield Drive. Again, that's 6751 Westerfield Drive. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions of me, sir?
No.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
Stay on that X one, please.
How you doing? Good morning.
All right, good morning. And your name, sir?
Terrell Kelly.
Hey, fellas.
All right, so Mr. Kelly, you are charged here with one count of criminal trespass and one count of battery family violence. Those are misdemeanors, sir. And so because they are misdemeanors, that means you have a right to a preliminary hearing, or you can waive that hearing. Which would you like to do? Have it or waive it, sir?
I will wait.
All right, so I'm going to show that since you are waiving your right to a preliminary hearing, that means once we're done, the deputies will have a piece of paper for you to sign, okay? Now, as it relates to your bond on these charges, because these are, I need to make sure you understand, Mr. Kelly. You actually have two separate groups of charges. You have charges from yesterday, November 1st, and you actually had a warrant outstanding for your arrest as well. And so going through all of the charges for you, the ones from yesterday, those include the one count of battery and the one count of criminal trespass. Okay, you then had an old warrant back from 2019 that also had a separate count of criminal trespass as well. So your bond as to the battery, family violence, and trespass from yesterday is $7,500 on the battery and $5,000 on the trespass for $12,500. And you have special conditions, which are to stay away from Kimberly Spivery, as well as the address of 6261 Monica Drive. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Again, that's 6261 Monica Drive in Kimberly Spivery. Now, with the old case, you had, again, another count of criminal trespass from 2019. It's alleging that you had the same victim, Kimberly Spivery, and it was at the same address. So again, your bond on that's going to be $5,000, and I have added a special conditions, but they are the exact same: Kimberly Spivery and to stay away from Monica Drive. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Now, based on the information that you have provided to me this morning, I am going to go ahead and appoint you a court-appointed lawyer, sir, free of charge. So you will have a lawyer to help you out on your case, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, I know that was a lot there, but do you have any questions with me about anything?
With the first charges, could you give me the amount again so I can write it down if you won't mind?
Yes, sir. So it's 7,500 on one count,
Okay.
7,500 on one account, and then 5,000 on the other count. So your total bond is 12,500 on that first case. That's the newer case. Okay. And then, as I said, you had a second case from 2019, Mr. Kelly, and your bond amount on that one is just 5,000 by itself. One case, 12,500. Second case is going to be 5,000 for it. So your total between the two is going to be 17,500, or 17,500. Okay.
Sure.
Does that answer your question?
No, sir.
All right. Any other questions for me?
No.
All right. Good luck to you, sir.
Thanks.
All right. And your name, sir?
Carl Basino.
I'm sorry.
Carl Basino.
I can't hear you, sir.
Basino.
Give me 1 second, Mr. Messino.
That's the wrong one. That's a Messino. Messino. You're not. The next one.
Give me 1 second.
Ben Lopez.
Yeah, Lopez, you've got him, but he should be continued.
Yeah, he continues. He's gone.
Yep, if Lopez should be gone.
That's Carl Messino, Your Honor.
Yep. Okay. And then do you have a Daniel Hernandez, or did he make bond?
Which one again, sir?
Daniel Hernandez, is he there?
Hernandez.
Or did we? Oh, we did him. We did him. Never mind. I got him. Give me 1 second, Mr. Messino. I'll be right with you. Just give me 1 second. This is acting up. Give me 1 second. All right, then we did Kelly. Kelly is done. Lopez is continued. All right, so Mr. Messino, you were charged here with 1 count of driving with a suspended license and 1 count of failure to dim headlights. Those are both misdemeanors, sir, which means you have a right to a preliminary hearing, or, sir, you have a right to waive that preliminary hearing. Which would you like to do, have it or waive it, sir?
If I do the preliminary hearing, that'll be right now.
No, sir, it would be in 30 days.
If I waive it, that'll be what?
Let's go over the difference again. So if you waive that preliminary hearing, it does make your case move a little faster. I'll move it on up, send it on up to the prosecutor, and they will either make the decision to charge you or not. If you want that preliminary hearing, that's where you're present, the judge is present, the officer is present, and you all go over whether you believe there is enough evidence to move forward on your case, okay? Do you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, so which would you like to do, sir? Would you like to have that hearing or waive that hearing?
I'll wait to hear.
All right, sir. So I am going to show here, Mr. Messino, that you're waiving your right to your preliminary hearing. So when we're done here this morning, the deputies will have a piece of paper for you to sign, okay? Now, are you working right now, Mr. Messino?
Yeah, I work.
How much are you making per month?
Like 1,300 a month.
All right, so I am, sir, going to go ahead and appoint you a court-appointed lawyer free of charge, okay?
All right.
Now, after your bond, sir, your bond amount is going to be $1,500 on the suspended license and $500 on the failure to dim headlights. So your total bond, sir, is $2,000, okay? Do you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, sir. So that is all I have for you this morning. So again, you've waived your right to your preliminary hearing. I've given you your bond amount of $2,000, and I've also appointed the lawyer free of charge. So, Mr. Messino, good luck to you.
Listen, I was unable to make a phone call this morning. Is there a way I can-
Yeah, nothing to do with judge.
Yeah, so you got to speak to sheriff on that one.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. We go back to-
All right, next should be Neil, Petway, and Tate.
How you doing,
Are you Mr. Neil? Good morning, sir.
All right, yep,
Are you Mr. Neil?
yes, sir.
All right, so Mr. Neil, you are charged with misdemeanor count of theft by shoplifting, a misdemeanor count of possession of marijuana less than an ounce, sir. I've reviewed your information that you provided here this morning. I am gonna go ahead, sir, and release you. Now, that doesn't mean that your case is closed. It just means you'll be out on bond until such time as you get your next court date in the mail, okay? Now, let me ask you, sir, are you currently working?
I work at FedEx.
Say that again?
I work at FedEx.
Okay, and how much are you earning per month?
Not a lot, it's part-time, so it might be a couple hundred a week.
All right, so I am, sir, gonna go ahead and appoint you a court-appointed lawyer, sir. So you will have a lawyer free of charge to help you on your case, okay?
Sir.
Do you understand that, sir?
Now, can you say that one more time? You went out.
I said, because of what you told me, I am gonna go ahead and appoint you a lawyer free of charge to help you on your case.
I appreciate you.
Yes, sir. So the only thing left, sir, is you just need to sign that document over there that the deputies are gonna have you sign, and you'll be good to go. They're gonna release you later today.
All right, thank you.
All right, good luck to you.
You do the same, man.
And are you Mr. Petway?
Yes.
All right, so Mr. Petway, give me 1 second. All right, so Mr. Petway, we are gonna go ahead and dismiss your charges here today, sir. I need to let you know something though. As I spoke to the other gentleman who's in custody as well already, I suspect these charges are going to be brought back. There were some things that needed to be changed. So once they are changed, sir, I expect that the officer will either do that and then bring it back tomorrow, so you'll be here tomorrow, or you'll be here later one day during the week. Do you understand that?
Yes.
But as of today, sir, I am gonna go ahead and I'm gonna dismiss your charges here today, okay?
Thank you.
Do you have any questions about anything, sir? I'm sorry?
No, sir.
All right, sir. So again, I am dismissing those charges here, but as I understand it, please expect that you may return at a later date on these, either tomorrow or next week. Good luck to you, Mr. Petway.
Yeah.
All right, on Jots, the last two I've got are Tate and Willis. All right, are you Mr. Tate?
Yes.
All right, so Mr. Tate here, you are charged with 1 count of simple battery as a misdemeanor, 1 count of aggravated assault, family violence, which is a felony, sir. Because you are charged with a felony, if you don't make the bond that we're going to go over this morning, your next court date will be December 4th at 8:30 a.m. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, are you working right now, sir?
No, I'm retired.
Okay. So since you are retired, I will appoint you a court-appointed lawyer who will help you free of charge on your case, okay? All right, you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir. I hear you.
All right, so now as to your bond, you do have special conditions, sir. They are to stay away from the alleged victim in this matter, as well as from the address of 1548 Pine Court. So again, you're to stay away from Mr. Johnny Tate and from the address of 1548 Pine Court. Do you understand that?
Yes, that's where I reside.
Okay, and well, as I said earlier, sir, if that's where you reside, if you were given a bond at some point later down the road, the only time that you are allowed to go back is either the bond's been modified, your case is closed, or if you were escorted by a deputy to to that address. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, as to your bond amount, sir, on the misdemeanor is going to be $3,500, and your bond amount on the other charge, I'm giving you a no bond. So you will have to wait for your second court date. You'll get a bond hearing date of December 6th, where they can consider your bond on that felony aggravated assault. But right now, you're a no bond, okay?
Okay.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Tate.
Thank you.
All right, and lastly on Jots, I've got a Hunter Willis.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Are you Mr. Willis?
Yes, sir.
All right, so Mr. Willis, you are charged with 1 count of prohibited possession of an item by an inmate. That
Yes.
is a felony, sir. So that means your next court date, if you don't make a bond, which I know you're in on something else too, is going to be December 4th at 8:30 a.m. and that's going to be via Zoom. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now your bond amount, sir, on this felony possession in the custody of the sheriff is going to be $5,000. Okay.
So how, if I use a bondsman, how much would that be?
15%, you're looking at about
No bonds. Okay.
$650, $700.
Yes, sir.
December the 4th.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, as it relates, he's got December 4th for his prelim, December 6th for his bond hearing.
Yes, sir.
Now, as it relates to you, Mr. Willis, I have looked over the information that you provided to me this morning. So
Yes, sir.
based on that, sir, I am going to go ahead and appoint you a court-appointed lawyer. So you will have a lawyer free of charge to help you on your case, okay?
Yes, sir.
So again, $5,000 bond. It is a felony. Your next court date will be December 4th, 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. If you don't make your bond, like we said, it's about $650, $700.
Yes, sir.
And that's it for you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. All right. Now, if we go, let's see. It should be everybody off Jots. On Jots. So going off Jots now, I've got up first. Is it Mr. Batchelor?
Yes, sir.
All right, so Mr. Batchelor, you were charged with a host of things here, sir. 1 count of VGCSA, 1 count of driving with an invalid tag, no insurance, fleeing, drug-related objects, another count of VGCSA, giving a false name, suspended license, VGCSA, invalid tag, no insurance, fleeing, and 2 counts of drugs. Now, there are several concerns I had with the way that these warrants were drafted, sir. So those first 5 counts, the VGCSA, tag, no insurance, fleeing, and drug-related objects, I have dismissed. All right, so you got 5 warrants there that have been dismissed.
Yes, Your Honor.
Starting with the second set of counts here, beginning in 7166, sir, you were charged with possession of a hallucinogen. I have declined that warrant as well. Then you were charged with giving a false name again. Your bond on that's going to be $1,500. Then you were charged with suspended license again. Your bond amount on that is $1,500. Then you were charged with the felony drugs. Your bond amount is $3,500. Then you were again charged with no insurance. Your bond there is $1,000. I have again dismissed the fleeing. I have again dismissed the felony drugs again. And then you lastly have you're charged with possession with intent of marijuana. And I have given you a bond of $10,000. So your total bond, sir, on those charges for which you do have a bond, is going to be $17,500. Excuse me, $18,000. So your total bond on the charges you have is $18,000. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. And I have a question, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
I actually just talked to my girl this morning before court, and she
Uh-huh.
said that she has proof of registration.
Okay. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't talk to me about that on. You're getting it. Remember what I said earlier. I don't know if you heard me.
Yeah.
But you don't want to. Hold on. You do not want to get into the facts of your case. That's what you're doing right now. And so what I'm telling you is all that information there, that's for your lawyer. Talk to your lawyer about it. And so then that way he can talk with the prosecutors and they can make a decision about how they want to proceed moving forward on things like that. Okay.
No problem. One more quick question, and okay, so if I was to prove anything, right?
No, sir.
My
No,
money
sir.
back in my bond?
No, it's not that. We can't get it. Listen.
Okay, I'm
I
sorry.
think I hear your question. So let me answer it this way. By the time you start doing that, you start getting into things where you are proving it, it will not affect your bond because by that time, you'll be getting ready to make a disposition on your case. I mean, I'm getting into the weeds and I'm starting to tell you legal advice, but it's not going to make a difference on your bond.
I do apologize for that. I just want to know. I'm sorry, sir.
That's no problem. Trust me, I'm doing it to protect you. I don't want you to say something because this is being recorded.
Yes, sir.
Now, you are charged with some felonies here, so I need to tell you, sir, your next court date, if you don't make your bond, is going to be December 4th at 8:30 a.m., and that's going to be via Zoom. Again, that's December 4th, 8:30 a.m., and that's via Zoom. Okay, Mr. Batchelor?
Yes, sir.
Let's see. And then, based on the information you provided, sir, I have gone ahead and appointed you a court-appointed lawyer. So you do have a lawyer free of charge to help you, okay?
Okay. So you
So
said
again-
it was 18,000 and what?
Say that I couldn't hear you. Say that one more time.
I said you said that my bond was what? 18,000 what?
$18,000 even.
Okay.
So again, you got a bond of $18,000. Your next court date, if you don't make your bond, is going to be December 4th. I've given you a lawyer free of charge, a court-appointed lawyer. Okay.
All right. And last thing, how many charges were dropped? Were dismissed?
1, 2,
I
3,
had 10.
4, 5, 6. 6.
All right. Thank you so much, Your Honor.
Yes, sir. Anything else I can answer for you?
No, sir.
Oh, excuse me, not 6. You got 7 that were taken out.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right. Good luck to you.
All right.
Mhm. Next up, I've got Mr. Burrell.
Sir.
Are you Mr. Burrell?
Yes, sir.
All right, so Mr. Burrell, you were initially charged here with 1 count of driving under the influence, sir. There were some things that were missing in the warrant, I will tell you. And based on that, Mr. Burrell, I have dismissed your case. Now, let me tell you, that doesn't mean that it won't be brought back by the police officer who arrested you. But as of right now, you will be released today. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, next up should be Mr. Johnson, Ricardo Johnson.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mr. Johnson, you're charged with 1 count of theft by taking, sir, that as a misdemeanor. That your bond amount is going to be $2,000. and you are to stay away from Mr. Tariq White. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, I don't, yes,
Let me ask you, are you working right now?
no, sir.
All right, so I am gonna appoint you a court-appointed lawyer free of charge. Now, because this is a misdemeanor, sir, you have a right to a preliminary hearing, or you can waive that hearing. Which would you like to do, sir? Have it or waive it?
I have it.
All right, so I am showing that you would like to have your hearing. So your next court date, sir, if you don't make your bond, is gonna be December 3rd at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Again, that's December 3rd, 8:30 a.m., and that's going to be via Zoom. Do you understand that?
Yeah, I thought I had another court date in January, in January, they gave me one.
Okay, well, that may be something separate, so let's not talk about that online here. 'Cause if you got something else going on, I don't want you to expose yourself or tell on yourself, okay?
Yeah,
You hear me?
yes, sir.
All right, so as of right now, this case, your next court date is December 3rd, 8:30 a.m. All right?
All right,
Any other questions?
you said my bond is what, $2,000?
$2,000. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right,
Anything else? Anything else I can answer on this case?
no, sir.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
Good thing.
Are you Mr. Lampkin?
Yes, sir.
All right, so Mr. Lampkin, you were charged, sir, here with one count of battery and one count of cruelty to children, sir. Those are both misdemeanors. Now, we thought we were going to go ahead and actually have to continue your case because there was some information that was missing. However, the officer was able to add that information and provide it to us before your court date here this morning. So I need to advise you here. I'm gonna go over it with you so you understand. They are alleging here that you committed the offense of battery family violence by striking someone by the name of Ronquay Schuler, and that you also committed the offense of cruelty to children by not only striking her, but causing her excessive physical or mental pain. Now, after I've reviewed this information, sir, here this morning, I am going to go ahead. I'm going to approve the battery family violence, and I'm going to deny the cruelty to children. So that means you're going to have one count of battery family violence that you'll be facing, and then the one count of cruelty to children has been dismissed. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, your bond amount, sir, is going to be $5,000 on the battery, okay?
Sir.
Also, this is a misdemeanor, sir, so you have a right to a preliminary hearing, or you can waive that right to the preliminary hearing. Which would you like to do? Have the hearing or waive the hearing?
Wait,
All right, sir, so I am going to show here this morning, Mr. Lampkins, you are waiving your right to your hearing. And so that means that after we're done here, the deputies will have a piece of paper that you will need to sign, okay?
yes,
Now, I see here that you are making about 2,500 a month, and that you have 3 children. So I am going to go ahead and appoint you, excuse me, I am going to go ahead and require that you get your own lawyer here for this case. And so if you need a lawyer, you will have to get your own. Do you understand?
I pay child support too. I ain't see the well, I can put that on there too, but like I said, just cause I ain't really, I got 3 kids and I'm on child support, so it might seem like I got it, I ain't really got it like that.
And how much are you paying per month for child support?
So I pay like $450.
You said $450?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me take a look at something here, sir. Give me 1 second. All right, so Mr. Lampkins, I'll go ahead based on what I see here. I was just reading some things about you. I'll go ahead, I'm gonna give you a court-appointed lawyer, free of charge. So again, you're waiving your right to your preliminary hearing. I'll qualify you for a lawyer. These are misdemeanors. You've waived your right, as we said. Your bond amount on the battery is $5,000. The cruelty to children charge I've dismissed against you. Last thing I needed to tell you, sir, is you do have special conditions. I think I already told you one, which was to stay away from Ms. Stewart. The other is that you're gonna have to stay away from that address. That address here where this alleged to have happened being 6447 River Park Drive. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, was that somewhere you were living at the time this allegedly happened?
No, sir.
Okay. All right, so then there shouldn't be an issue with you being able to stay away from that address, correct?
Correct, sir.
All right, sir. Do you have any questions of me about anything?
No, sir.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
All right, thank you, man.
Thank you.
Time, ladies. I know, we got some.
All right, and are you Mr. Ramos, is it?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Ramos, you were charged with one count of hit and run and one count of following too closely, sir. Those are misdemeanors, which means you have the right to a preliminary hearing, sir, or you can waive your right to that hearing. Which would you like to do? Have it or waive it? All right, so I am going to show that you are waiving your hearing this morning. So that means once we are done, sir, the deputies will have a piece of paper for you to sign, okay? Now, let me ask you, sir, are you working right now?
Sir.
I'm sorry?
Yes, sir.
And how much are you making per month, sir?
I make 2,000 a week, so it's about. It's about what?
About 8,000 a month?
Yes, sir.
All right, sir. So based on that, sir, you do not qualify for a court-appointed attorney. And so if you would like an attorney on your case, you will have to get your own, okay? Do you understand that?
Say it again, please.
I say you do not qualify for a court-appointed attorney. And so if you would like an attorney on your case, you will have to get your own.
Okay.
All right. As to your bond, sir, the bond amount on the traffic charge, the following too closely, is $500. As to the other charge, it's $2,500, the hit and run, for a total bond of $3,000, okay?
3,000.
Yes, sir.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
So if I pay the bond today, I can pay it today, right?
Yes, sir. You can pay it today if you or someone you know has the ability to pay it today. Yes, sir.
Okay, I pay it. Okay.
All right, and we've already talked about you waiving your right to your hearing, so you're good to go.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you. I believe is that everyone, Deputy?
Yes, Sean, that's everybody we have.
All right, so the only one I was Lauren Houston. Did she end up bonding out?
Yes, sir, she just bonded out.
Okay, all right, let me just put that down, bonded out. All right, thank you so much.